Hello everyone, this is Paige from Mosaic Moments, and today I'm showing you a flip through of pages from of the Disney parks. And you may not be a Disney parks fan, and that's okay. I hope you can still find lots of ideas today. And if you want to, you can get a notebook and pen and write down ideas that pop into your mind while I'm doing this flip through, because maybe even if you're not a Disney fan, maybe these pages will help spark some new ideas for you. But if you are a Disney fan, you will love this video today. So the first one right here is a layout with the Horizon dies, and this does have more traditional Disney colors. I have a pattern paper, which Horizon's great if you are a pattern paper fan, because you can have it around the edges here. And on this layout, I have a picture of me and my sister, and then all around is different photos. These corners are really small, so I like putting something like flowers. So when you go anywhere on vacation, including the Disney parks, I would definitely take pictures of the foliage around. Disney does a great job of taking care of these areas where they have lots of flowers. And I really like having the spaces with the Horizon to add in some fun places. Or, you know, I really like adding photos we took there. I know some people like having this page filled with a lot of people, but I often just like having a place to put photos that we just enjoyed taking. That's kind of how I look at a lot of our pages. A lot of them have photos that we just enjoy taking photos and like to show that. So this is just one layout. I think Horizon's a great one. Here's another Horizon layout. This one, of course, looks like a droid from Star Wars. And of course, I did this on purpose. And this has a mix of Horizon dies from the various Horizon sets. This was a really fun one. If you plan to go to the Star Wars area, this is one you could do. This also could be a fun idea for some place like the Lego store. Disney has it, but I know there's Lego stores in other places, or the Lego amusement park, because it kind of looks like it was built up, you know. I think it could work for something like that too. So again, this is a really fun one. I had a lot of fun doing this one. I believe I have a tutorial of this layout on YouTube. All right, another Star Wars layout. This features our Alderaan dies. Yes, Alderaan is a place in Star Wars. You do not have to use these just for Star Wars layouts, but it was inspired by the Star Wars universe. And I had a lot of fun with this one. I like the Star Wars areas because I like how rustic it is, and I like to show that on my layout. So here you can see I have chalk ink along the Alderaan dies, and you can see here, so that's not pattern paper, this is chalk ink I put on there to give it that old rustic worn down feel. And this is Fisherman's Wharf grid paper from our Dockside collection. I think this is a great one for Star Wars layouts, so really great one. All right, this one may not be very obviously Disney, but some of you, if you go to Disney World, you know there are a lot of different hotels. So this particular trip, we stayed at the Riverside Resort. So it's based on New Orleans. And so it's not very Disney looking, but it's more based on the resort. For this layout, I used the oval stitched frame. You can see the stitches pretty well on the camera. We really love the stitched dies. And keep your eye out because I will be making a video of our stitch dies. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see a video with more of our stitch dies. But basically I went with the theme. You know what kind of inspired the colors was kind of this brick. You can kind of see there's kind of, there is gray, but kind of has a little bit of pink and green in there and those bricks. And she's wearing this pink shirt. So I really liked this color background. This is from our all season collection. Overall, it's a nice calming layout that again is meant to match their resort. All right, this next layout is a 2-page spread. I don't know why, but this layout is one of my favorites. It's so simple. It's the same page pattern basically, but I took this one and I flipped it upside down basically. So that's one easy way you can make a 2-page spread. That tip works when the layout is asymmetrical. So I don't necessarily recommend that for like a symmetrical layout, but if it's an asymmetrical design, it'll work pretty well to do that. And what I really love is the Canterbury dies. Very, very simple, but I use this gold paper that gives it a little shine and interest. And I have some purple. This was actually the back of our grape from Fresh and Fruity, and then I have this other purple with that little bit of gold. Very simple layout, but I really like how, because it's so simple, the design spots were bigger, so I was able to fit in more portraits of us. So that's what I recommend if you have a lot of photos you feel like can't be cropped very small, to choose a pattern with less design spots on it. And of course I used these flower photos. This was in my horizon layout from earlier as well. So yes, these were taken right at Disneyland. This was not something we added later. And it's a nice touch to the Disney layout. So not your usual Disney colors, but it has, to me, a magical feel. All right, here's a fun one. Yeah, today I'm not showing a ton of like traditional, not necessarily the most traditional Disney colors or anything like that, because I want to show some out-of-the-box ideas, and this is one of them. This layout shows the Beaumont dies, which may be not something you expect, but it's a nice neutral die that can really go with anything. And I want to show you up close. So the Beaumont die here, I actually embossed this background. You can see the pattern. I put chalking. I always put chalking on it so that way you can see the embossing design better, but at home you may choose to leave off the chalking. But I love the texture that embossing leaves on these paper mats. And what I also love about the Beaumont dies is they have these pieces. So you can see here I have the dark blue, and then there's pieces you can layer on top to make these parts a different color. And there's even a tiny piece that will fit on this if you want to add an extra layer. So it's just a different look for a Disney page. I really like this fun pattern paper here. And if you're looking for a journaling solution, I just take little strips of paper and write on them and then cut them out, and it makes it so quick and easy. This layout is just showing the overall Disney trip of various photos I took. You may be wondering what this is about. This is not Animal Kingdom. There actually was a wild turkey in the parking lot when we were there. It was actually very pretty. If you look at it, there has these really pretty green hues, and this bird, it was a very pretty turkey. But I really like this layout. It looks really fun, and the Beaumont dies to me are really pretty on this layout. All right, here is a fun level 3 page. These are our cathedral dies, and it was perfect for this layout of Magic Kingdom. And the cathedral dies can be used for many different things, but here I thought it'd be fun because, you know, there's the castle, which is right in the middle, and I thought it'd be fun to make them seem like windows of various things we saw that day. So that's what I like about the cathedral. It kind of makes it seem like you're looking out of a window. And this is a fun one. I definitely felt inspired by the Fantasyland area with these colors on here. So that's kind of what I like. I don't necessarily like to use the traditional Mickey Mouse colors like red, white, black. You know, I like basing it on the section or that specific park. So you're going to see that quite a bit in this video. All right, here is a layout. This is specifically showing World Showcase in Epcot. And you can see I chose this rustic looking pattern paper. And if you're wondering what this die is, this is Barcelona. So it's a 2x2 die. It's very pretty. If you're someone who likes to take trips to Europe, or if you're into really pretty architectural details, I think this is a pretty one to have. So go check it out. It's called Barcelona on snapandcrop.com. It is just this one 2x2 die. I would say add this one to your wish list. It's so pretty, and it may be one you weren't aware of because it's such a small die. It kind of can get overlooked, but I think it looks really good. This is, again, showing World Showcase. If you're not familiar with it, it's a section in the Epcot park that shows different countries. So that's why I have the rustic feel, and the Barcelona to me kind of worked to tie in the theme together. All right, I have a second layout here with Epcot. It's actually the same trip as the previous layout, but this is showing the front section of the park where it looks a bit more modern, although since these photos were taken, it has been updated. These two things are not there anymore from my understanding. So this is a really fun layout. What I did was, so this is it's called Sunbrella grid paper from our summer collection. You can see this ombre color effect. And I was inspired by this photo here. It's not the exact same colors, but this color scheme is inspired by this wall over here with multiple colors. And there is a little bit of purple in there somewhere. Anyway, the little dragon named Figment is purple. So that kind of is what helped me tie in the purple. And so I chose Sunbrella. And then in the center, you kind of can't see it probably from in a distance, but this is actually two different mats. So this is a 4x4 bright pink one, and this is a 2x4 bright orange, because I thought one solid color wasn't very interesting, and the orange was a bit too much alone, so I thought the two different colors would help this part stand out more. And it's kind of funny because it's pink here, so you almost can't even see that it's two different papers. You almost can't even tell that there's kind of a break right here, but I think that's okay. And this is our Discover die, or it might be called Discovery. I can't remember which name. And this is a really fun one. This is a cool one. I thought it was great for Epcot because it kind of has this science feel. So this is a great one, really for anything. It's great for travel. It's great for science museums. This is a really fun die that maybe... So something I forgot to mention, I meant to mention this right at the beginning of the video, but I wanted to let you guys know I had a bonus layout today. And by bonus, it's a layout that's as of the date this video was published. This has so far never been shown online. So this is the first time that I have shown this layout online with you, whoever is watching this video. So this is a really fun one. What happened was I started this one years ago and I never finished it until early in the year 2024. And this is a pretty simple layout. Again, you know, we're on the carousel. It's 4x6 photos. I didn't feel like I could crop these. But to make the page a little more interesting, each section is a different color, and I used a stamp. So this is not a pattern paper, it's a stamp I used that matches the same color as the mat. And then in the middle here, I have these 4 1-inch squares in all the different colors with the year 2007. So this is pretty old photos at this point, but this was a fun one. Again, I wanted to show something a little special for all of you on YouTube, and this might be published somewhere else on our website at some point, but for right now, this is special for you to see it here first on YouTube. All right, here is another great die. This is our Harlequin dies, and I've actually used it on a few Disney layouts. It's great for the Fantasyland area. It has that kind of Middle Ages look, obviously. It just works with Disney. And here, this is one of my favorite layouts of all time because it kind of makes this circle. I didn't fill it in a way to highlight the circle, but you could fill this part differently to really show that circle design here. And of course, you know, you want to pick pattern paper that looks really good with Harlequin. Here I have this kind of goldish paper, and then I have a completely different one here. I even have 2 different tones of frames here. So this shows both of the Harlequin dies. So there's one that makes this section, and there's another one with an open diamond. And so I cut one with a darker pink and then layered this one on top with the lighter pink. So that is another, you know, neat idea you can do. So this is, again, a really fun one. Totally fits with Fantasyland. All right, here is one that is based on a character. So your layouts can be inspired by a particular character. I think it's pretty obvious. This one is based on Alice. This is my sister when she went during their Halloween party. And this layout shows the scallop matte dies, which I love. I think the scallop mats are so pretty, and I love how they add an extra, they're very feminine. I will say they're great for feminine layouts. They're great for adding something a little more elegant. I think it totally fits her character. And I also added these hearts. I think these hearts are from our stitched heart set. These aren't the stitched ones from the set, but they have a few different hearts you can add to your scrapbook pages. But this is a really fun one. And I want to say this picture it is so blurry, but I thought it was so fun. I had to add it in anyway. Sometimes you just got to go with it. It's too bad when something's really blurry and it technically could have been a good photo, but sometimes you just got to show it anyway. But this is a fun one. Again, you can base a fun Disney layout idea is just taking the inspiration from the characters. So that would mean using the colors. Like here would definitely use the colors of her dress. There's blue and white in here. And the gold was just to add a little something extra. So it wouldn't be just all blue and white, basically. But it could have been. It probably still would have looked good, too. All right, the previous layout showed a meet and greet, and so does this one. So if you've been to the Disney parks, you, of course, probably have done at least some of the character meet and greets. So this one shows Aurora from Sleeping Beauty, and it has the scallop mats as well. Again, it's perfect for these more feminine layouts, and it makes it more interesting than just having the square, don't you think? I really like the scallop layers. This one also shows the scallop circle. I really like the scallop circle as well. And totally, obviously, if you're going to have the scallop mats, the scallop circle is a great embellishment to go with it. On this layout, I have this long piece of pattern paper. This is not a Disney paper, but it totally reminded me of Disney. So if you are a Disney fan, I would say you don't have to always use, Disney trademarks, the Disney official Disney paper or anything like that. You can find things that you think, oh, that reminds me of that character or that park we went to as well. So keep your eye out. And I think it's a nice touch to the page to add something that still kind of looks Disney, but doesn't have to be the actual Disney characters or anything like that. Although that's fun too. All right, I love this page. I'm a big Animal Kingdom fan. I make a ton of pages with Animal Kingdom. I don't think I've shown one so far of Animal Kingdom, but I make tons and tons of pages with our photos from there. It's just my place, I guess. It's just one of my favorite places to go. So this grid paper is from our Shoreline collection. I love the tall grass look. It was perfect for this park. This is paper from Bo Bunny. I'm not sure if they're still selling this paper, but it's a really nice, it's kind of a more mature zoo paper. It doesn't look too juvenile like a lot of zoo papers do. So I just overall love these colors. To me, that's my favorite part about this layout is the colors. This green is nice. Again, I love the texture, all these lines and various colors make. And then you have this really nice colors of pattern paper. I love adding long strips. So the hand strips, we don't have dies for these because they're really long, but you can hand cut them. We do have demos showing you how to hand cut. And this could be a great place to add a big title as well. But I love the pattern paper so much. I just wanted the pattern paper to show in this case. But yeah, here's a fun one. I really enjoy this one. And I really like adding little squares. You take so many photos there. I enjoy making pages for Disney parks with little 2x2 squares like this. You can fit a lot in. All right, here is a 2-page spread. And this was my niece's first ride on Dumbo. You got to do that your first time at least, or with a little child, because it's just so cute. But what was fun about this layout is I used the film strip dies. I think this is great for Disney. The film strip is great for if you're going to the Hollywood Studios park, obviously, because it's based on the movies. And so that's a great die for that park. It's also just a great die to show a lot of different photos. I mean, this is a 2x5 space here. And I like that I was able to fit in extra photos with this. It looks really good, totally fits with Disney because, you know, they're about the movies. And again, shows your photos in a really fun way. So yeah, I really like this style with the film strip. So fun and so cute. I think the film strip's a great one if you like going to the theme parks. All right, here is a fun one. Okay, if you are a Disneyland fan, I'm finally going to show a few from Disneyland. So this is at California Adventure. There's an area that's called Cars Land. And obviously in the movie, in Cars movie, their town is called Radiator Springs. And I loved this postcard. I believe I got it in this store right here at the park. And I really wanted to put on a scrapbook page. So if you're someone who likes to get postcards, you can fit them on a 4x6 mat. That is the measurement of the grid paper. Unless it's bigger. I mean, some postcards are a little bit bigger, but you can get like a 4x6 size and it'll fit pretty easily in a spot like this. And I did put on these like corner stickers. So I did not actually glue the postcard down. They're being stored by this. So I know many of you are looking for ideas to add in postcards, and this is one. And I actually used the Horizon dies for this one. I used the 2x4 Horizon size here to fit in this 4x6 space. And I love this cloud paper. This was a really fun one for this particular section. So again, this is a page inspired by the section, and I was able to fit in a postcard. So this is a fun one no matter where you travel to. So here's one I want to show this one in case you're someone who likes using Instagram, you like taking a lot of photos. I love square shapes because, first of all, pages with the squares fit in a lot more photos. I would say if you want a ton of photos, pick the mostly squares patterns on the pattern gallery. That's on our website, mosaicmoments.com. And I don't think I took these on Instagram, but I kind of like the look of Instagram, how everything's square. So that's what this page makes me think of. And again, I kind of mentioned this earlier, but I like the squares because you can fit in a lot of photos and you can show all these. I kind of like using them to show these miscellaneous photos because there's some photos I take and I'm like, I really like those photos. And I like showing what I ate that day because these foods were all so delicious, by the way. And Disney has so many details, like this trolley, which as of this video, I've heard they are not going to have that anymore running. So that's kind of sad. That's the other thing. These parks change so much. It's nice to make scrapbook pages because you're like, one day they might end it. Like this used to be the Tower of Terror. Now it got turned into the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. And I'm like, oh, well, I went here when it was updated, but it used to look different from that. So anyway, nice one. Again, when you go to Disney, I'm sure many of you take a ton of photos. So look for those mostly square patterns on our gallery because you'll be able to find patterns that'll fit a ton of photos from your trip. All right, here is a fun layout just using the basic dies. The previous one also just used the basic dies. This one also has a lot of photos, but I want to show you this one because I don't know how you are. So I love going to the Disney parks at night, but I can say they don't necessarily make the best photographs. I will be honest, like you're not usually going to look very good with the flashlight, with the flash lighting, and things tend to be more blurry. So on this layout, I decided to still show some of the daytime photographs, and this layout, everything's balanced. So I purposely made it so it's day, night, day, night, day, day, night up here, day, night. So that way it looks balanced. You can see the nighttime ones here are in this symmetric, they're in the exact same spots, and then the day ones here are in the exact same areas. So that way the layout feels very balanced. So if you're looking for a way to add in those nighttime photos, this is one solution, this is a pinwheel pattern. So it works really well with the pinwheel design. And you just need to make sure, at least this is how I think anyway. I think that in order to get the balance, you need to have them in the same rotating spaces. Hopefully that makes sense. But this is a really fun idea. Again, a fun way to show your nighttime photos because they don't always look very good, so it's kind of nice to have your daytime photos that do look a little bit better. But I really wanted to show the nighttime photos because I think the parks are amazing at night. This layout shows the Animal Kingdom Park again, and for this layout I use the black diamond dies, which I love. So for this layout at Animal Kingdom, this was taken on the safari ride. So in the distance you can kind of see one of those trucks. And because of that, the animals are usually, you know, pretty far away. Obviously I have some photos here where we got them a little bit closer. That's a baby hippo, by the way. It's so cute. And a little baby rhino. But it's a great opportunity if you go to a zoo or a place or the Animal Kingdom Park and you have these level 3 dies that use a lot of small spaces. These photos will be so perfect for that. So all this here, and these 3 all use photos that were taken at a distance. So I did crop these with 4x6 photos. I did not resize them. And in the middle here, I have one photo. Basically, I carefully cut the photo so it could fit on both sides here, and then it would have the center diamond shape. So this is a really fun one. And again, I have this paper. It kind of reminds me of Animal Kingdom. And I have this outline here that kind of looks, it kind of has this like rustic look or distressed look. I think that fits with that particular theme park as well. So I would say find some papers that remind you of that place. All right, here is the last one. I have shown this page. I only saw 1 or 2 other flip throughs, but I think it's a fun one. This one shows Downtown Disney is at Disneyland. This is Disney Springs, which is in Disney World. You can really use this same look for either shopping area, but for this layout, I use the soft corner dies, so it's great for making mosaics. It actually makes the photos look a little bit bigger because there's not just the gap here, but also the little frame part. So I feel like it makes everything look bigger. So these were all 4x6 photos. So this was multiple 4x6 that were taken in a panoramic kind of way. Like we take multiple photos. So it's not the panoramic setting on our phone. We don't usually use that very much. So you just take multiple photos and align that, and then later you're able to align them. And the Disney Springs area has these water areas that look really pretty, which is why I wanted to make a page because I thought it looked really nice. I love the brick grid paper here. This is from our weekend collection. This is a great one for travel, in my opinion, if you're going to a city, like an older city where there's a lot of brick. I've used it for a layout for Philadelphia, and I thought it was great for that. And then I have some fun pattern paper. It has the flowers and has the words. Altogether, I think this layout fits the Disney Springs area. It's really, really fun. Really, I mean, I don't know how many of you who go to Disney Springs think to make a page about it, but actually, they have really, like this wall here, they really have some really fun photo opportunities around there. And they have made really good photos for pages and something a little bit different for your Disney album. All right, we have reached the end of the video. I hope all of you enjoyed this. Like I said, even if you're not a Disney fan, I hope you found some great ideas. And I would love to hear from you in the comments below what you would like to see more of in the flip throughs, or what you would like to see next. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.